Coach Driving Diaries number 2. So it's a Tuesday and the alarm goes off at 05:40 and time to get up for the usual procedure, get dressed, have a shave, pop the kettle on, have a coffee. These are shots here recycled from Coach Driving Diaries number 1, just being lazy. Breakfast different though, having warm croissants with jam, lovely. Then heading to work in the car, taking a short drive to the yard and then getting the keys for the coach and starting up the coach. It's already got some air down, you see the tank's low on the bottom, doesn't take that long to build up though. And then put the card in, do the manual entry, show I've had rest since 20 to 6 yesterday. Warming the coach up, putting the heated mirrors on to clear that mist that's forming up there, and then running empty to the starting point of the school run. So this is basically what this episode is today. It's just basically covering what I call a standard day. That would be schools and swimmers. Some days it's just schools. But we have 7 different school runs. I'm one of only a small handful that can cover all the school runs. That's just in case, someone's away on tour, is sick or whichever. You need someone who can cover, who has the route knowledge, for all the school runs. So, this is just the empty part. Obviously, I'm not going to film the school run itself, or where it starts for that matter. So we'll skip ahead. So that's the school run done. Running empty now to Symington, which is near Trowbridge. Just going to park up there for a bit. Just coming up to Black Dog Crossroads. This is Wiltshire's accident black spot. There was an accident here very recently. You probably just see on that corner there some bits of car. That was a day I was away taking Marlborough College out somewhere, so I didn't see exactly what happened accident wise, but there's been a few accidents and the council have been on about trying to change it, maybe put a roundabout in. We're going to put traffic lights in to make it safer. I mean, it would be, but apparently there's no power supply for traffic lights or something along those lines. Don't quote me, I can't quite remember. And having gone through Worton, coming up to the A361 junction now. It involves going up a bit of a blind bend, getting up the hill, and then you get to the top, you have a hill start here, and we're going to turn left up towards Trowbridge. Okay, just coming up to the lay-by now. I'm going to stop just past this bus stop, but I'm not going to stop right at the end. There's a reason for that. I don't know if you can just think of what that reason might be. You shall find out in a moment. So just going to have about half an hour here before I set off for the next run. I'm just going to quickly check the coach. I already had a look for any lost property anyway, but can have a proper look now for any litter. But looking inside, it's very tidy, no mess at all, nothing left in the tables. The school run's pretty good anyway. Sometimes you might have to put curtains back or tilt the seats back to the normal position, but normally it's okay. And then time to have a coffee as well. And while we're here, I'll just show you how pokey the toilet is. For starters, the door doesn't fully open because you've got the middle door arm that's in the way, and this step thing is a couple of times I've whacked my shin on that top step there and then it goes over. Probably the pokiest toilet on a coach I've ever been in compared to our Turismo. As you can see how much of a sort of cupboard it is there. How ridiculous that is. I mean, it's, it's usable, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I certainly only use it if you absolutely need to. Right, just about to set off now, and if you can remember what I said, why I'm parked where I am, well, this is why. This lay-by is just past the roundabout, so there's not great deal of visibility when pulling out, so I like to use that little bit of space, just to get the momentum going, you know, build a little bit of speed before pulling out onto the main road. Also gives me a chance to stop if need be as well, if a car comes around the roundabout. So heading off to the next point now, and it's not far to go, but at least the fog's lifted. It's not as murky as what it was earlier, and it's not raining either, so that's a bonus. So we're going off onto the road to the left, but you can't drive down it because there's nowhere to turn around, so we do this reverse maneuver, which involves doing a hill start reverse. It's a bit different. So we've got the hazards on, just checking the traffic constantly, because there are cars that come down this road frequently, and the road off behind us as well. As proven here, there's a car behind, and it's difficult to decide if the car was going to go backwards, but it just stayed where it was. So the easiest thing to do here is for me, was just to pull off to the right and then draw forward. That allows the car to come up on the left hand side and can get past me then, and then I can continue reversing. Car's got past now, so just going backwards. It's a bit of a funny one because the road's not straight. You've got this bit of a kink in the road here as well, and then it straightens out. It's much easier then afterwards. So this run is a double run, so we go back and pick up another group. So coming out here, got to have the ferry lift up, otherwise we ground out with this dip on the bottom. If you can see the orange flashing symbol above the speedometer on the dash, that's telling me that the ferry lift suspension is either up or down. In this case it's up. And just make this tight left here and just skim the curb, and miss the sign there on the right as well, and then come over the speed bump, and then I can press the up arrow to return the suspension to normal ride height. So back again to do the same manoeuvre, the reverse down the road. I'm trying to do this quickly just to stop the car behind getting any closer, who was passing the junction, but they reversed back for me once I put the reverse lights on, so that was nice. Give them a little thank you in a moment for giving me the room. So taking this too far to the right now, so I'm going to admit that I don't do this, you know, first time every time. Usually get the approach angle wrong, so just going to tidy up. There's absolutely nothing wrong with doing shunts to make it easier, because the problem with this turn is you don't want to go too close to the left because you've got the tree there with the branches sticking out. Some of them are quite thick, so you don't want to get too close to it in case you sort of, you know, the branch hits the window and can easily smash the glass. But going too far to the right, you're going to go up the curb as well, so which is what I done. So just tidying it up there, and managed to get around all okay. So that's those runs done. Got about 20 minutes break before doing the double return afterwards. So that's those 2 runs done, and that's about an hour later. Now running empty to park up in preparation for the next swimmers run, because the next one involves a wheelchair. So we're going to do a conversion from 53 to 43 and 1 wheelchair setup. You won't remember how it looks like when it was set up in Diaries number 1, but basically it's these 4 rows will all push forward. So first things first is we'll just tip up the seat bases. And then take off these plastic covers. And then pull back the levers on both sides of the chair. So this lifts up the locking bars, enabling to move the chairs back and forth. So then we can begin the process of sliding the seats forward. So always start with the first row and pushing it as far forward as you can, as it permits. And then you push the grey levers back in to lock the chair in place, and then just giving it a shake test just to make sure it's locked in safely. So doing the same process again with the other seats. We'll just speed this bit up here because the whole process can take about, you know, anything up to 5 minutes to do. So with that done, the next job is to put the wheelchair attachments in place. So the first thing I do is put the front ones in place. So we'll just do the left and right side and give them a tug test afterwards as well, just to make sure that they're working okay. And then put in the rear attachments. Now these have buckles for the seat belt, and they also have a hook which goes into the back of the wheelchair. Again, give these both a tug test as well, just to make sure that they're working okay. And then I'm going to put the seat belt in place. And then I'm going to attach the top seat belt. What this does is it pulls down and clips into the lap belt, and therefore creating a 3-point belt system. And there we are, that is now set up and ready for use. So at the pickup point now, didn't quite have time to set up camera angles showing you how the lift comes out, but this is basically what it looks like when it's deployed. So that's the outward run done, which only takes 20 minutes. But the return run, you don't take the wheelchair. Wheelchair only goes one way. So time to convert it back to a 53-seater, as I'll need this later on for the school run. So having put the attachments away already, basically you just do the seats in reverse. It's putting the back ones first back in place, and then working your way back towards the front row, putting them back in place, putting the levers in putting the plastic clips back on afterwards. The only trickier thing with doing it this way is lining the seats up right, making sure the gap is adequate between the seats. That way I do it by counting the holes on the floor. You can count up to about 11 holes and then put the next seat in front of that, and that roughly gives you the gap. So we'll speed it up from here anyway, as this takes a bit of time. So that's that done. Back to a 53 seater now. So to the group back, empty to the school, and then doing the afternoon school run. Also didn't do any filming from there, so this is next bit here is me running empty back to the yard. You can see the weather's vastly different to what it was this morning and throughout the day. It's actually nice and sunny now. No fog, no rain. And this part is my favourite, especially on a clear day at the top of Sandridge. Get a lovely view over to the left, and quite scenic as well with this sunset. Very nice. So at the top of Sandridge Hill, putting the retarder down now to keep the speed down at 50, but also using the brake pedal a bit here as well, just to keep the speed down some more. Some people in the road, God knows what they're doing, but they soon run off when they see me coming down the hill. And then keeping the retarder down as well at the bottom, just because the speed then goes down into a 40 just around here. So back at the yard and parked up, just having a check through for any litter. It's just one bit on the floor, so that's alright, can't complain with that. So we'll do a proper sweep out of any mud and grass and mop out and do the belts tomorrow, because I've got to disappear for my birthday dinner. So I'll take the card out, and about 10 hours later, which is the standard shift for schools and swimmers, I'll hang the keys up and in my car now, heading home, and that's that day done. But considering I stayed in the county, that run, that's 3 swimmer runs and 2 school runs, total mileage today was just over 100 miles, 101 to be precise, which is surprising how much miles you can clock up in one day just doing this sort of shift. You think that Westbury to London is 108 miles, so it's basically done the distance of here to London one way. So, hope you enjoyed this episode, and like and subscribe for more of these types of videos. Until then, see you in the next episode. Take care, bye bye.